everybody. Alright, let's get started. Which is, it's very simple to do. I'm just going to, start the timer. This is going to be a quickie, no more than an hour or so. And, okay. We don't want caravan mode, we want high score mode. And ready to go. Now, I'm sitting further back. Hey, Clackaboy. Lovely to see you. I'm enjoying a bubble milk tea with popcorn chicken, in which I dip in sweet and sour sauce. I mean, the sauce really is, like, the sauce is so important. No, the reason I laughed is because I was thinking of a funny scene from Final Fantasy VII Remake regarding a sauce, or what's called the sauce. No one knows. But, yeah, the food itself, it kind of is just a sort of almost a delivery system for whatever it is that's being enjoyed. And it's just sort of, it's like, it's there to enhance the sauce, not the other way around, when you have dippable food, in my opinion. Yeah, I have some, yeah, I made a new hold screen just for Versus Pinball. I updated my layout a bit. I've got, you know, my current, you know, goals and my current statistics scrolling on the bottom. It's been a long time setting that up, and I'm now sitting much further from the table than my desk than I usually do. And I went through a lot of trouble making sure my audio and the game were set up, because I listened back on my VODs when I've been playing this game with the volume settings I had before. I felt it was a tad too loud for my personal taste, even though everyone watching, no one ever complained about it when I asked. People said it was fine. But for me personally, I just think, you know, it could have been, it just could have been slightly quieter, but I don't want to drown out. I mean, this isn't a game with, like, a baller soundtrack or anything, but I do want to, I've been growing my mustache back to its former glory. I'm interested to see when and how it even grows back, because I never chopped it off before. So I don't know if this is going to take multiple years to reappear or what. Because I'm like, well, we're all wearing masks now, and not that I cared, not that I was so concerned with my appearance, but I was just like, yeah, I just want to cut it off, see if I look stupid with it off or not. And if I do, then I'm wearing a mask outside anyway, so it doesn't matter. And plus, I was just interested to see how long it would take to grow back. Because all I did, I'd, like, trim it very slightly just so it doesn't grow into my mouth or anything every once in a long while, and it didn't seem to grow that fast. It seems to grow much slower than the rest of my facial hair. So I'm just gonna see what happens, what it'll take for it to grow back. Probably just a few weeks. We'll see, because, like, for every time I buzz the rest, like, my cheeks and my chin and everything, and my neck, like, I have to, like, tame my mustache once every month, maybe. So I'm not even sure how much slower it's growing compared to everything else. So here's the thing with the mustache. It's, you know, it's interesting because I'm like, the only time I even think about my mustache is when a particular hair grows that extra millimeter necessary to where it gets in my mouth occasionally. Where just one particular hair will grow faster than the others. I'm like, okay, I need to buzz. I need to reel it in a bit so it's not interrupting everything. Yeah, I guess it's a significant part of my appearance, more so than I accounted for, because people on stream noticed, and I didn't even know if people on stream would notice or not, because it's like, because from my overly critical point of view, I'm using a potato camera covered in Vaseline, so I didn't even think if people would notice, like, or not. I've got a Virgil's cream soda here. All my YouTube videos have them. You know what? I'll have to look back on that. I don't doubt it. But I was probably years into doing YouTube by the time, I don't think anyone even pointed out the mustache till like 10 or 11 or something like that. And I started making videos in like 2000. My first video was like 2006. When I started properly making videos routinely in like 2000. 8 or 9. It was really the announcement of the 3DS that got me started properly on, you know, making videos more frequently. Because what happened, they announced the 3DS with like this weird press release. They just posted out of nowhere. And I went on YouTube, there were no videos about it, so I just filmed a video as fast as I could, giving my take on it, and that's really what got me started being a Nintendo YouTuber. Okay, come on. Yeah, I'm very interested in collecting as much data as a lot of data of just my high scores, and, well, not just my record-breaking scores, but just my, you know, just tracking my performance, you know, doing the mean, median mode, maybe doing a box and whisker chart, and stuff like that, and then comparing. Oh, yay! I kept her in play and got her over. Doggone, didn't keep it in play long, but. And for the first time, really, I have actually been playing this off stream some. So, perhaps I don't give it my all when I'm playing off stream for fear of getting a record run off camera, which I don't want to have happen. Because my record runs tend to be in handheld mode. I mean, when I'm not playing in this setup, I tend to be playing in handheld mode. So, yeah, it's almost fall back time. I mean, it's already getting darker earlier even without the man-made time adjustment. The adjustment of our clocks. Let's see. That's the one thing about this layout. There's not quite... Yeah, I'll put it... Hold on. Okay, I got my bonus ball coming up. And it's going to launch itself automatically in a moment, but... Yeah, I guess I'll put the chat over here for now. Yeah, that's the one thing I don't like about this layout. There's not a dedicated spot for chat. But it's good enough for tonight. I spent a long time working on the graphics for the hold screen, like the end cards and the other stuff, and just choosing. I chose a specific mix of hold music for tonight. You know, just something to set the mood. And yeah, like I could do a late night stream if it's this. I believe I feel great with this, and plus. That time when I cut it early and ended up switching to NES Pinball, that time I was playing a really puzzle-heavy game. It was like a really hardcore puzzle platformer, the Klonoa GBA games. The mainline console games for Klonoa are not puzzle platformers like that. Yeah, it sounds like I'm going to be doing often, but I'm like, yeah, let's do it. It's the end of October, and I'll be doing other stuff on... I decided not to stream on Halloween. I'll probably be watching other streamers on Halloween as I multitask and do other things that night. But yeah, but like when I couldn't keep up with the puzzle platforming of Klonoa, and I was tired then anyway, and I went to pinball. So I'm like, hey, now I'm really getting serious about doing these high score grinds for pinball. Now I forgot to take some the screenshots. I've gotten good when I've been practicing. I have gotten really good at taking the screenshot in the last moments of my game after my final ball, so I could easily go back and refer to the screenshots to keep track of my end scores. And but yeah, I have entire streams of just data collection, playing this, doing weird things. The first pinball screen looks like a monster with sharp teeth. The upper one or the lower one? Once I see it, I probably won't be able to unsee it, but I want to figure out if you meant the upper one or the lower one, because theoretically the first screen could be in the upper one. If any kids will ring my doorbell, I'm gonna have my lights off. I do year after year daydream of being able to have a whole bunch of candy and do a proper costume and stuff, but it's just maybe once I move and I could budget for that kind of stuff, but Yeah, not this year. Oh, the upper one? Yeah, I can kind of see how the upper shoots might look kind of like a frowny face. Forgot to take the high score. I mean, I have this all recorded anyway. On YouTube, I actually posted a compilation of a lot of me, but just it's just uncut 7 hours, just a compilation of all the streams where I've been playing versus pinball. At the beginning, there's like a 20 minutes of me playing regular NES pinball, just so I can get up to 7 hours. I'm like, it's so close to 7 hours, I might as well just have the extra 20 minutes of me playing NES pinball at the beginning, so I could say 7 hours of pinball. Yay, bonus time on our first ball. Let's make this count, because we got bonus on the first ball. To trigger the bonus, you do have to make... Basically, you have to get all the lights on a single vertical column to be the same color, which is hard to do deliberately. So basically, my strategy is just to keep the ball in play as long as I can. Oh, not happening. Keep the ball in play as long as I can, and hopefully eventually get lucky and be able to have Pauline drop and just be ready to catch her when she does. Now, I've been getting a lot more strategic and, well, just learning, like, looking at Strategy Wiki, because most of the point scoring, in Strategy Wiki page for NES Pinball, it tells you the scoring system for NES Pinball, and it tells you the differences made for versus pinball in terms of obstacles and object behaviors, but not in terms of the scoring. Because I'm not sure if in NES Pinball you get 1,000 points for your ball exiting the bonus stage. Like here, you get 1,000 just for... Do I have a special Thanksgiving stream? I have schemes for something special on Thanksgiving. It may involve... I have to find out if the Charlie Brown movies, the old ones from the 60s and 70s, are on Amazon Prime. If they are, I may have one thing planned. If not, I may have something else planned. But, yeah, so the NES... Yeah, so you get... In the NES version, I don't think you get 1,000 points for leaving the exit lanes. Like how I went into that hole in the upper screen, it shot me back down. Here in the NES version, that hole would have shot me back up, but here it shoots you down. So it's a bit more of a hazard in this one. Because in a sense, you would like to keep the ball on the upper table as long as possible, because as long as you're scoring points in the upper table, there's absolutely zero risk of you losing a ball. At worst, you're just going to go down to the lower table, right? But one thing I did notice, in the NES version, on this lower table I'm playing on now, the 3 circular bumpers in the middle of this table and the lower half of the table are 100-point bumpers. In this version, they're 300-point bumpers. And this version, in the NES version, the upper bumper there is 100, and the lower ones are also 100. And I think that making these lower bumpers be worth 300 each is a good balancing. It's a better way to balance the game, and I think it does make this superior because the upper table you have no risk of losing a ball, but on the lower table, by increasing the points earned from 100 to 300 for those 3 middle bumpers, which you're going to be making a lot of contact with, there's an incentive to be on the lower half of the table because you have more opportunities to score points with these regular bumpers, as opposed to in the NES version, you're earning the same points for hitting the round bumpers on the upper and lower tables. So I'm gonna have to probably maybe even use some emulation things, some emulation techniques, or using some Game Genie codes or something, and a combination of that and looking at my gameplay VODs in slow motion for NES Pinball and this version of Pinball to be able to definitively define the scoring system on versus Pinball, because the Strategy Wiki article has the scoring system for the NES version, but I know just from these lower bumpers being 300, which the Strategy Wiki does not really mention specifically, that they are different point values for objects and obstacles in this versus Pinball version. Okay. Are we going to get an extra ball here? Probably. Alright, so we got one more ball, and I have to be on it to take the screenshot. Now, 79,000. I mean, ideally. I mean, a perfect game to me is I get... Well, being in line for a perfect game, to me, would mean I would ideally like to get to... Alright, got the screenshot. 80,000. Okay. 80,000 and change. I would ideally like to get to 100,000 points with my first ball. If I can get 100,000 points by my first ball, I'd be shaping up for a PB. Now, last stream, I actually realized, because I was doing some of these calculations on the fly, I did not have the proper difference in my stats ticker on the bottom between my current score. I thought it was like a 0-point-something% difference between my score, my 84th place score, and the 83rd place player. Instead, it's actually more like a 2% difference. Okay. And I also added my current improvement, my current high score as compared to my first ever time playing versus Pinball. Because I'm preparing a video that has my breakthrough scores, my 3 or 4 rank improving scores, my first time ever playing versus Pinball, and my 3 or 4 rank improving scores in a single video that I'm gonna put up on YouTube, possibly here as well. Yeah, I might as well. It's a good it's the sort of thing that, you know, it's most YouTube's, I mean, Twitch is mostly about live stuff, but and mostly stuff you don't have to upload manually, but this would be the kind of thing that would be perfect for uploading. Okay, I'll take a look at what you just posted in when I get probably actually at the end of this game, because I am gonna have to hold off on reading chat sometimes due to focus a bit, which I do regret, but I know you understand. Something about Saturday, and I'm not going to be able to read the rest for a little while. Come on. Yeah, Pauline. We got Pauline. Hey. You got more than 10,000 bonus points already. Saturday Night Live returns to normal episodes. Okay, what was Saturday Night Live? I don't know how it was airing or filming or functioning lately. So, yeah, you see, I wanted to pinch the ball up and see if I could get any sort of special spin on it. Okay, so we got one Pauline out of there, not bad. And I'm going to try to stay on the upper tables. I'm going to be collecting data, doing trials on all kinds of different ways to play. Like, if a board where I immediately let the ball fall to the lower table, is that going to get me, on average, more points than if I try to keep it on the upper table as long as possible and focus on the upper table and getting back up to the upper table when I'm on the lower table? And I'm also going to do a series of runs based on, if you just don't touch the controller, the ball will just sort of launch automatically and just bounce haphazardly and eventually fall through the upper table and then through the lower table. And I'm going to do a series of runs, like 0 input runs, I guess. And I think what I'm interested in is that would let me gauge how well any player is doing as compared to not touching the controller at all, as compared to the random chance of the ball just falling. Because you only have so much control of the ball itself. You just have control of the flippers, and you just aim as best you can at the targets and tunnels and everything, right? But I feel like if I were to, by taking an average, a sample of no input runs, you can compare a player's skill as compared to the random chance of the ball just falling and bouncing around of its own volition. So I think that gives you a pretty good way to just to evaluate your skill against sheer chance. Yeah. All the cast were separated in their homes initially? Oh, okay. Well, it's good that they're able to work it out, that they feel confident filming as traditionally now. Man, wow. I haven't watched late night comedy in years and years and years. I remember back in the late 90s and early 2000s, very early 2000s. Yeah, I can see how that could be limiting, to have the cast all sequestered from one another. Oh, I just realized the chat. I do have a few seconds to adjust this. Okay, that should do it. Yeah, we're gonna see if we can get to 100,000 on our bonus ball. We haven't gotten. I don't think we've gotten a 100,000 point game yet tonight. 95 and 97, 98, 98,000. Oh, come on. So close to 100,000. Like, okay, we're not gonna probably get too far, but you never know. You could do a lot with one ball. Now, yeah, no royal flushes. First 100,000 point game. No royal flushes today, though. I did get a royal flush earlier in the day, though. All right, just take a little swig of water. All right, let's go for it. Yeah, and I do keep checking my ranking. Like whatever other places on the online leaderboard have changed, my score and the person above me have not changed. I don't know their name because it's in Japanese. I want to find out how to pronounce their name just so I could put a name to my my current rival, who of course is just chilling in Japan somewhere, not knowing I exist. But okay, got bonus with the first ball. I like this so far. When you lived in New York, were you close to NBC studios? Well, I wasn't close, but I was often nearby because, the Nintendo New York store, or the Nintendo World store as I knew it when I was over there, that is in Rockefeller Plaza. It's on 48th Street. So, like, when there is a certain celebrity, a certain reality TV celebrity that was on Saturday Night Live a few years ago. It was, I think, in 2015 or so. And I didn't consider this at the time. Basically, it was there was a line in front of Nintendo World of people camping out overnight for the Yokai Watch. Did you ever walk by the David Letterman Theater? Yeah, I did. I didn't really think much about it, but, yeah. No, like, the door that the guests, go into for all those, like, late-night talk shows, that door is a door that is, like, right next to Nintendo World. Like, the 48th Street face Nintendo World. The service door that all the celebrities come and go through is, like, right there. So, you'll just be lined up for some, like, E3 or something. A limo will pull up, someone comes out with like a bunch of security around them, go into that door and just vanishes. Yeah, but someone was on, well, I didn't realize this at the time, but basically I was with a friend and it was the Yokai Watch launch event at the Nintendo store, and there's about a dozen people lined up, and someone drove. It was like 2 in the morning, and someone drives by in an ice cream truck, and and shouts at us like "F you losers, da da da," and drives off. And I'm like, someone just drove by a bunch of Nintendo nerds at 2 in the morning in an ice cream truck and cursed them out and drove off. It was the best thing ever. I wish it was on camera. And I was so confused. And then what I've realized, and so you know where this is at, and then what I've realized later on was that, it was when Donald Trump was on some late-night talk show that was being filmed there, and he thought we were lined up to see him on the show. And I didn't put those two things together till literally years later. I was like, oh, that's why the idiot in the ice cream truck was shouting at us. It's like, you're gonna shout at people, at least figure out who the heck you're even shouting at. Like, you... Which is kind of a hilarious thing about acting without actually knowing what's going on. Yes, I'm doing a late-night stream of the only game that I have the wherewithal to play proficiently late at night. Versus Pinball. After this game, and I have updated us. I haven't improved my ranking at all, but I have an updated ticker down there on the bottom with my my stats and, you know, my current rate of improvement. Got the screenshot. All right, I just want to show you this real quick if you haven't seen it before, but. Yeah, this is my new hold screen. I did the end cards here myself in GIMP, and I used the marquee from the pinball, the actual Versus System pinball machine for there, and I have my ranking down at the bottom. You're scrolling by in a ticker, which is the first time I've done that on a hold screen, but I will get back into it. Yeah, I used to do live streams almost once a week. I mean, nighttime streams. But the marquee for Versus Pinball, when you scale it down it doesn't look good. Which is why for above my head on this layout, I'm using the graphics for the title screen of this game, which is, the title screen does not say Versus Pinball, it just says Pinball. So I'm using that graphic because that scales well. Like when I scaled the actual marquee that was used on the pinball machine, it does not, on the arcade machine, it does not scale well. So I use the in-game title screen instead for the banner. And I really just wanted to cut between my hold screen, my wait screen as you're waiting for the stream to start, and for this, I really just wanted to make a kind of a shrine, like, you know, for this game, kind of, because I like it so much. I really just kind of want to make it look as cool as possible and just show my affection for the game. I will never go to watch the ball drop in New Year's Eve in Times Square. I will never go to do that because basically, you have to go in there. You are locked in there from like noon until like an hour after midnight. Like, then there are very few porta potties or anything. They lock you in there, and I think you have to go through security or something like that, and you cannot leave. If you leave, you're not getting back in. So it's really. I should show my website off on stream sometime? Yeah, eventually maybe. And actually, I was thinking of making pinball.supertrainstationh.com because I'm very interested in having lots of, collecting lots of statistics for this game. Because, like, I added I need to improve 2.4% to get to 83rd place in the global leaderboards. And I have my original high score is 67,810 points. And then I have that compared to my current high score, which is, let's see what it says. I don't have this memorized. I'm actually looking at my own ticker on my broadcast. So I've improved 104% compared to the first game I ever played of this version of Pinball. So I'm interested in collecting a lot of data like that. And if you don't press any buttons, and I guess this was a failsafe to prevent someone from inserting a coin, having the machine sit there all day with a credit running. But the ball eventually launches itself, which means that it's possible to do a no-input run of this, in which the ball is basically just operating purely by random chance. And by collecting some data from, you know, say 25 or so runs of that, I could very accurately, you could compare the average score from those runs compared to scores of, someone actually playing the game, and in that way you could compare someone's, because you only have so much control over the ball, but by taking a sample that way, you could compare, you know, someone's talent as compared to pure chance. Yeah, it's more like the old format in terms of my like the time of day that I'm streaming or the time of night that I'm streaming, because like one stream Kalaka Boy 75 was there for this, but I was playing a really one of those that Klonoa game for Game Boy Advance that was like this really it was this puzzle platformer that made me have to think a lot, and this is often I often am sort of winding down my day around this time, and so what I thought was, all right, why don't I switch to NES Pinball, because I wasn't playing the game very well. Let me switch to NES Pinball because that's sort of one of my comfort games. It's very simple to operate. I could go and play that proficiently, and cut the stream a little, short, but at least play something. And so I'm like, hey, I'm getting really into doing these high score grinds and for versus Pinball. Why don't I play that for a late night stream? Because that's something. I mean, with the visuals and the colors, and the sounds, I really feel like this is a good late night game. You have an extremely relaxed aura around you right now that I've not seen in your afternoon broadcast. Oh, that's interesting. Like I said, I guess it's because having my entire day behind me maybe puts me a bit at ease. Being tired of it maybe puts me a bit at ease. And plus, I've been looking forward to this stream for so long because I wanted to show off my new. At the end of this game, I'm gonna switch to it real quick for Azure Rest, who may not have seen it. But Azure Rest, I don't know if you've seen before. You know how I have the ticker at the bottom. My improvement rate is 609% compared to when I first appeared on the leaderboards at like 500 something place, and now I'm at 84th place. Different things like that. But I did a cool new hold screen. Now, I switched from that bright blue that I like to use to that that black with the blue checkers, which is actually a texture that I think I took from the background of a stage in Sonic Triple Trouble years and years ago. Now, about the chickens, the eggs and chicks at the bottom, pretty much what I'm trying to do is you hatch the egg, right? And then a few seconds later, you hatch the egg, and a few seconds later, you hatch the egg, the chick appears. Then a few seconds later, the baby chick disappears. And it goes black for a moment, then an egg reappears. You're trying to hit all of those egg targets in rapid succession so that there are 3 chicks hatched on screen at the same time. When I hatch yellow chicks, I get the outlane stoppers on the left and right of the table, on the lower table. If I do that a few times, instead of the yellow chicks, I get to hatch purple chicks. If I hatch 3 purple chicks on screen at the same time, Bubbles, the character from Clue Clue Land, will appear from the gutter if I lose a ball and rescue my ball for me. So next time I lose a ball, Bubbles will rescue my ball for me, and I can do that an unlimited number of times as long as I hatch. There we go. I just have to. Once I hatch 3 purple chicks at the same time, once again, I'll be able to earn another ball rescue. So even though I have no spare balls left, I'm able to play for a while. Now, okay, that'll be the end of the game. Oh no, I did earn a bonus ball because I think I get a bonus ball at 10,000. And I also selected, I made a special playlist of different music. I never used commercial music for commercial music in terms of like mainstream albums and stuff. I'll use game soundtracks for my, my hold music. Brought to you by Virgil's Cream Soda, because I personally do not partake in alcohol, but this is my hold screen here. And this is one of the tracks I played. Azure Rest, if you remember Dragon Pilot, Hisone, and Masotan, this track is an 8-bit NES-style remake of that, of the theme from that. I used the Versus Pinball banner here. We're working on a song right now in Habbo Hotel. Oh, that's cool. But I liked the these black and squares these blue squares on the black background, the end cards, the old TV with the guy actually playing the arcade game that I'm playing. All those things I made specifically to try to, you know, set the mood and have a nice, relaxed late-night atmosphere. And especially with this game in particular, an arcade game and a pinball, you know, you get that atmosphere of, like, you know, not like a real rough and tough dive, but just a nice little, you know, just sort of like a pub-type place somewhere, you know, where there's, you know, this arcade cabinet in the corner playing pinball. Now, I already lost a ball, which is a little annoying, but... you know, I wasn't even... I know we've talked about Habbo Hotel before. I really wasn't even aware that it was still a thing. Is it one of those things that's kind of, like, more popular than ever, but no one really talks about it? Like Pokemon Go, for instance. I hear people talk about Pokemon Go. Like, I don't play Pokemon Go, but I hear people say, oh, you still play Pokemon Go? When, this was like a year ago, there was some point where, like, Pokemon Go was making more money than ever. And more people were playing it than ever. But the crazy fad of it, where people were running down the street and, like, in gangs going after a single Vaporeon in Central Park and stuff like that. That kind of stuff, that is kind of over, but so people kind of thought that the game was, like, fell out of favor, and it's actually continues to be very popular and profitable. It's just that you're on a classic private server, and there are like 30 people online right now. It's dead? Oh, really? It has a very good in-game music maker. You make your own 16-bit chiptuning music. Yeah, I remember you mentioning the music maker aspect of Habbo Hotel. So, you know, it's almost more interesting to me that Habbo Hotel has private servers going on. And, like, so, like, actual Habbo Hotel, is that gone? Or are you just playing a classic server that's like how Habbo Hotel was in, like, the early 2000s? Oh, gosh. That was a little embarrassing. Oh, this isn't going to be such a hot game, but... No, you might as well. If nothing else, it's just more practice, right? It's like the old one. Is there such a thing as modern Habbo Hotel, and it's just very different than how it used to be? Therefore, there's a classic server, or is Habbo Hotel flat out gone, and therefore there's classic servers? Okay, and we're 1,000. That little lane above the 100-point bumper. That is you can get a nice momentum there where you can rack up 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 very, very quickly. Oh, you're stepping into your local Aldi market? Yeah, anything like that is definitely closed over on the East Coast by now. Oh, Aldi is kind of... It's a supermarket that I think it started in Europe. And Aldi is kind of like a... It's not a warehouse club, but they often sell in larger amounts, and the only one Aldi I've ever been to is kind of... How I believe these are laid out is basically you enter in from point A, and point B is the checkouts. And it's set up so that you've been through every aisle and department in the store by the time you get to the checkouts. So it's very convenient, and the carts are kind of European style, if I remember correctly, where all four of the wheels spin, and then the one near me actually had a coin deposit on the carts, which eliminated the need for people to go out and collect the carts. And I mean, I've heard people say, like, oh, that's like, you know, one less person that they're hiring, but I really don't think... Like, a lot of supermarkets will just send a cashier to go get the carts anyway. Some places do have people particularly, like, assigned where their entire department is just caring for the, collecting the shopping carts from the parking lot. I remember Price Club used to have deposits on the shopping carts And if you don't know what I mean by a deposit, I mean like when the carts have a mechanism where you have to put in a quarter in order to remove the cart from the line of shopping carts because they're all chained together. And to remove it from the chain, you have to put in a quarter, and the quarter remains in the shopping cart's handle. And in order to get your quarter back, you have to reattach the cart to the chain of other shopping carts. So basically, you have to return your own shopping cart, and you get the quarter back automatically. Oh, it's from Germany. I know it seemed very European. I didn't notice that till I went to England, which some don't. Which you could debate whether or not the UK counts as Europe. I won't get into that now. On a side note, if you want to continue viewing this viewing of a late night broadcast, perhaps there's an exclusive special holiday screening. I think I could do this every once in a while. You know, just an easy hour, because even the last few streams, like when I was doing the late night streams, I was trying to do them for at least a couple of hours. Now, if I get like a raid unexpectedly or something, and there are a bunch of people watching, I might stream for longer. But I'm happy with this. I feel like in 20 minutes, that's about. Yeah, I like the pacing of this so far. Where I just go in, hey, I'm doing this for an hour, and there's no pressure to try to go along as long as you can, or whatever. Yeah, I know when I was a kid, my mom would take me to, I know Price Club doesn't exist anymore. I think there's BJ's, there's Sam's, there's BJ's, Sam's, and BJ's, Sam's, and Costco, and then there used to be Price Club, and I believe back in the 90s, Price Club used to have, and we only would go to the Warehouse Club maybe a few times a year, because I guess my mom would just stock up on a few things that were non-perishable that we knew we could use up, because I didn't grow up with a house full of kids or anything like that. Oh yeah, I'll be playing, Serial Warriors, I finally, I didn't check Discord, but I did finally get my butt in gear, because I've been spending so much time making my new layout and my hold screen and everything for this particular stream that, like, you won't believe it, but even that simple hold screen I showed you before, I spent hours making the graphics for that and you know, choosing the music to set the mood for this, you know, pinball stream and everything. Well, I shaved. More like I just took a hair buzzer and buzzed my mustache off. Which I do every once in a while. I figured, you know, my mustache kind of snuck up on me. I didn't even notice. Years and years ago, I was like well into my 20s. Someone noticed, like, oh, I like your mustache. Like, I don't have a mustache. And I looked at me, I'm like, oh, I do have a mustache. Okay. Because it didn't really happen with puberty or anything. It just sort of snuck up on me in my 20s. And I never buzzed it off before. And I was like, well, you know what? I never think about this mustache anyway, and I'm interested to see what I'd look like without it. Because for years I didn't buzz it off just because I'm so used to how I looked with it. And I'm like, hey, I'll buzz it off. If I look stupid somehow, I'm wearing a mask everywhere anyway. Not that I'm even that self-conscious about it. And really, I wasn't so much interested in what I'd look like without the mustache as much as I was interested in how long it would take for it to grow back. Because I never shaved it, or buzzed it before, so. It's Costco? Okay. Yeah, so Costco was the one that had the deposit on the shopping carts. Alright. Now, what I want to do is hatch... Oh, now I want to get 3... Okay, we're in bonus territory now. What you want to do is get 3 of those chickens to appear at once before they go away and turn back into eggs. Because if you get all 3 to appear at once when they're purple, you get a ball rescue. If you get them when they're yellow, which is when they're normally yellow, if you get them when they're yellow, then you earn outlane stoppers on the left and right outlanes of the lower table. You can get a... Okay. Hey, Pauline. Now, we were living the dream. We rescued Pauline and kept the pinball in play, which is not especially easy to do. Now, we're out now, but what you want to do is turn all of the colors of one of those vertical columns all the same color. which will cause that section of the platform to disappear, which will allow Pauline to fall. And of course you want to catch her. If you do not catch her, that will end... Okay. We got one chick, and it disappeared. And we got our outlane stopper there. Outlane stopper's doing a lot of good work for us right now. Okay, we're almost to 50,000. No, okay, outlane stopper. But because earlier I got 3 purple chickens to appear at once, so Bubbles from Kukuland is going to come along and rescue our ball for us. Now, I only have to get like 2%. I only have to improve my personal best by 2%, and the top score you see on screen in the upper right is my personal best. And when I say I'm in 84th place, I'm using the global leaderboards that are included with the game itself. You know, it's funny, I finally went ahead. Every year, Pokemon Center's website has this purple Gengar shirt. And every Halloween, I'm sorry I don't have it, and I finally ordered it, and it's still in the box. It's been sitting in the box for a long time now. And I'm just so... so I gotta go ahead and get it out and hit it with some Downy Wrinkle Release spray. So it's ready for Halloween. Maybe I'll wear it when I stream Helios later this week. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying, Serial Warris. You saw, and I finally did email that address you gave me with the version of DOS I'm using and a link to a copy of the game file I was using. Because for whatever reason, Gmail does not want to let me send you the actual file. It does not like me attempting to send people shareware as an attachment. And it says this file is blocked, and I'm like, okay, fine. It's literally shareware, but whatever. Cream soda, everybody. By Virgil's, who makes awesome cream soda and root beer. Virgil's used to make this, what they called butterscotch, which was very clearly themed around Harry Potter butterbeer without actually infringing the trademark. Yeah, I mean, you should be don't rush at all, because I certainly didn't rush in getting back to you. I took forever getting back to you. I didn't do it until this morning, when I finally was satisfied that my graphics and everything were up to snuff for my hold card. Hey, at least we got a 100,000 point game. So, excuse me, so yeah, at least we made it to 100,000. And rack up all our bonus. I don't know if, am I on my bonus ball yet or not? Am I on my bonus ball? Okay, hey, got to 100,000. We didn't even start with the bonus ball yet. But for a really seriously competitive game, honestly, I do need to get to, I need to get to 100K without losing on my first ball. I need to get to 100K. 100. Okay, and that's my benchmark. If I could do that, then I'll be in strong territory to get a PB. Yeah, I'm probably never going to go to. I mean, I'm not a theme park person, so I'm never going to probably end up going to Universal Studios. But that's one thing. If I was gonna go to Universal Studios, one key thing would be the butter beer. So, but even like, I just like buttery cream sodas. Like, even aside from like the sort of Virgil's, they make great soft drinks. They make fantastic soft drinks, and the butterscotch was one of my favorites. Now, one thing I forgot to get the screenshot for that game. Oh well. One thing I will say is that I like how slow the ball rescue animation is, because it gives you a chance to maybe stretch a bit or grab a swig of water or whatever you need to do. Yeah, my favorite soft drink... Well, I don't drink alcohol anyway, so my personal favorite drink of all time is... Sarnak makes a bottled Shirley Temple. And I don't drink... Mind you, this is the first soda I've had in weeks, and... This is actually the first soda I have had since, like, whenever it was that I was playing Mario 64, and I had a Coca-Cola... I had a Coke with, like, Coca-Cola Energy. This is the first soda I've really had since then. So, it is not often that, I even drink soda. And I do like that all of, Virgil's drinks are non-alcoholic. I remember... I haven't seen it in a while. I haven't seen a place that has it, but... They made... Virgil's did make... I don't know if they still do. They make a keg of their root beer. Like an actual like, metal keg. For, like, parties and stuff. And for, like... Years ago when I was working at a warehouse club, we got it in once. And everyone... I had to stop so many people from buying it because they were buying it assuming that it was alcoholic root beer. And there's pictures of children on the Virgil's logo. Yeah, remember when you were playing Mario 64? You remember the Coke? Oh gosh. Alright. Yeah, I've never done a LAN party before. The closest to a LAN party is, I remember back in high school, I spent half my day in a technical college, well, a technical school thing, and I was in this computer class, and basically, we were free to pursue our own courses of study, and as long as we're being productive, as long as we're productively occupied in our chosen course of study, like you could choose like beginner game programming or web design. You basically would just you basically ordered your own textbook from a catalog they'd give you, and then throughout the course of the year, you just worked on that and showed that you were, you know, working on it. But as long as you were occupied, the teacher was really chill with us playing games and stuff. I never did this, but a lot of the, somehow a lot of, like, dude bro types ended up in that class. And I say that, I mean, they were cool people. I don't mean that in a... No, the ball went out before it registered my bonus points for saving Pauline. Doggone. Now, yeah, I don't drink especially fast. And I remember my first and only pint of ale when I was in England on the ale tasting train on the Bluebell Railway, because I had my first pint, and like 3 hours later I was through half it. I was like, you know what? I'm glad I waited. I'm glad I did it like this, but not really into this. And that's all she wrote. No, actually, when I got back from England, I had one hard root beer back when, like, hard versions of soft drinks were all the rage. It's not so much anymore, which was really irritating, because when I'd say I'd like root beer, people would assume I meant hard root beer. And what was getting really annoying was when people would describe hard root beer as real root beer, and that it had real alcohol in it. And I'm like, no, real root beer that, like, you could have without alcohol in it, which was kind of the original point of root beer. But yeah, so I had one hard root beer. I didn't even get through half the bottle. I'm like, and this is like maybe like a week after I got back from England. So this is my second drink. And I was like, this just tastes like root beer that it's just nasty root beer that makes me feel bad. So I'm not drinking this again, and that's how I've rolled ever since. Okay. Hey, we got a ball rescue on our first ball. We've already earned a ball rescue, which is nice. Can we get to 10,000 on our first ball? No. Oh yeah, I forgot I had a ball rescue lined up. How about that? And I didn't even get hung over, and I didn't even have a stomach ache. I just drank it, and it's just like, this just feels bad, and I'm not gonna drink anymore of this stuff, you know. And what really got me when people was like, oh, you just need to keep drinking until you stop feeling bad. I'm like, I'm not gonna keep hitting myself in the hand with a hammer until I can't feel it anymore. That's how I personally felt about it. I'm like, I'm not gonna continue to do something my sensors are telling me isn't good for me until I damage my sensors to the point where I no longer feel that. So that's just me. I'm not judging anyone who chooses to drink. Drink responsibly if you do. But that's how I roll. Now, how I'm gonna do this, when we run out of time, I'm going to finish the game I'm on, then I'm going to play one more game. Just one goodbye game. Just one for the road. And call it. Yeah, I was starting off really strong, and then it just kind of fell apart, but that's alright. Be right back to seek the contents of your fridge for a beverage. Hey, we're up in the upper table. Launched right back up to the upper table. 42. If I can get to 50,000, I'll feel alright. As we tick down to 5 minutes remaining. Can I keep this ball in play for the next 5 minutes? That would be cool. That's another thing. I also want to take down... I'll have to go back and watch my VODs for this, but I'd have to... I guess, see the correlation between the amount of time played. I mean, obviously... Okay, you got a ball rescue. Nice and slow so I can take another swig. And... yeah, I love how slow that animation is. It's great for streaming, because if you need some water or something, because I tend to run my mouth a lot while I'm streaming, so I need more water than some streamers might otherwise need. Now, I earned that ball rescue like less than a half a second before I lost the ball, so I would like to keep the ball in play as long as possible before I need the ball rescue, but... And we're... launch. Hey, bonus time. We're getting... At the very least, even if we don't save Pauline, we're getting back... We're getting back to the upper table. And this is my first bonus points of the game. Because my bonus only... Not even 1,000... Oh, come on. Oh, yeah, I forgot. You get 1,000 just for leaving the bonus round. So I got 440, but I got another 1,000 for exiting the stage. And oh wait, did I get my bonus ball yet? Yeah, I got. Okay, so I get a bonus ball. Can we keep this game going another 3 minutes and 13 seconds? And because if I keep this going for more than the 3 minutes remaining, I'm gonna play through the rest of the game, then I'm gonna play one more, and that'll be that. And we're down to the lower table again. Not quite enough momentum to get into the bonus area. But... and that does it. That does it. Okay. This is... I might as well finish this off now. Alright. And we're launching straight into... okay, 500. You always hope to get the 1,000, because when it gets into the 1,000, that's when it's most likely to get that nice momentum where you just keeps shooting up through that lane, giving me 1,000 points each time. But yeah, I plan on doing a lot of data collection and analysis type stuff for this particular game, which I do look forward to immensely now. And 5,000. Hey, got the seals going. I'll have to look. I forgot what those are worth in the... okay, 10K? Got the slot machine going. I actually was able to get the slot machine. When the slot machine, you want 3 penguins. That's the best result, which gets you a ball stopper, a bunch of bonus points, and a ball stopper. And we're... Come on. Yeah, no royal flushes tonight so far, and it's not likely with this game, and probably just... I mean, if I get a game over within the next minute, I will start another game. But it's probably most likely this current game, because once the timer reaches 0, I'm going to play through the rest of this game. Have you gambled in a video game? Like a game where you gamble for real money? Like an online, like, casino type thing? Or... Is that what you mean? Alright, and we're long. Okay. 36, 34. And... Oh, imaginary currency or real money? Well, I mean, I've played the mini games in Super Mario 64 DS. I mean, those count as... those are a lot of... They're a bunch of... Hey, so our time ran out at the same our game ended at the same time that the timer went off. I did not plan that. Could not okay, we're gonna play, well, let's see what's going on. We're gonna play one more. I just want to make the timer turn off for now. There we go. No, I turned, that's what why isn't the timer going away? I just want the timer to go away. Okay. I don't know why I have multiple instances of my timer. I do plan on playing some pachinko games. There are a lot of cool pachinko games on the Famicom I'd love to play. And there are patches for a lot of them. I would just emulate them, but if there's a system that's compatible... If there's a system... This is the last game of the night, by the way. If there's a clone system that's compatible with the external... With the plug-in, like, external controllers for the Famicom, there's one game... I would import... Actually, I would probably play it on play a patched version of it. But there's a couple of pachinko games that were released for the Famicom by Coconuts Japan, and Coconuts Japan made a special pachinko a dial controller that has like analog control for operating the dial, like the dial on a newer pachinko machine. And I would love to play that. So I would import. I personally would avoid importing things from Japan if I could avoid. Like I wouldn't just import a Famicom from Japan just for the sake of doing so. Because I would like a lot of that stuff to be available to the retro game community of Japan. I don't fault anyone. Like, if I were to buy a Famicom, I'd buy a Famicom that's already in North America. Like, from, you know what I mean? I wouldn't take one straight from Japan at this point. You ever play those online crane games? I've never touched them. Oh, bonus time. Yeah, but I would import the Famicom pachinko controller. It's only compatible with a couple of games, but it's just so cool. Hey, I wonder if someone could hack the other Famicom games, those other some other Famicom pinball games to work with the pachinko controller. Yes, Clock and Boy, I'll be here tomorrow at 2. What am I playing? I'm playing the NES version of Pinball for the first time, really, since I started for the first time since discovering NES versus Pinball, I will be playing the NES version of this again. Partly just, I'll only be playing it for a half hour. I partly will be playing it just to get a sense of how that one feels compared to this one. And but I do consider this the superior and more balanced version. Well, I'm not sure if it would necessarily be easy, because as I understand it, the games that use, like, the pachinko controller actually is analog. So it's detecting the controls in a way that a normal NES game would not be programmed for, and I'm not sure how complex of an operation it is. Now we're playing with our last ball in the last game of the night. Let's see if we could at least get to 100K. Not likely. We got halfway there, but let's see how far we can get. The key... Oh, I don't know if... Did I use my bonus ball yet? I don't know, but we're gonna play as though it's our last ball. Okay. Bonus ball? Hey, bonus ball. Okay, so here's our last ball of the night. And launch. Now, the thing about this, for those who are unfamiliar, because this is a... And I'm playing this on the Nintendo Switch, by the way, with the Switch Pro controller. But because this is an arcade game, there is actually an insert coin button on this controller, where you have to manually insert the coins as though it was an actual arcade machine. But because in this high score mode, if you watch very carefully, in high score mode, it automatically inserts the coin and presses start for you. So, you see how that worked. Alright. So, let's see what's going on. I'll be back at 2 tomorrow. Oh, come on. What are you doing to me? Alright, I'm just trying to figure something out. Alright, here we go. That's what I wanted to have happen. Alright, so I'm going to send you over to Fliptronic, who's playing a physical pinball table right now. So it's, you know, it's someone else is playing pinball. So, I usually don't blind raid people, because I don't know if they're going to be if they're cool, or if they're kind of people that I would like to watch or my audience is into, but hey, let's get the pinball category. It's nice and small, so it seems like everyone kind of seems to know each other. So let's see how this goes. I'll see you tomorrow at 2. I'll be playing a half hour of NES pinball and Mario Party Advance. You follow a page on Instagram, tells you all locations of houses with extravagant Halloween displays. Oh, that's pretty cool. Alright, I'll see you all tomorrow, or not, which is fine too. And thanks for watching.